Hello and welcome back to another video. I'm gonna say it here again because I don't know if anyone's actually gonna watch the fucking ship thing, but have been no videos because of a high amount of exams and the fact that the Wi-Fi in my area was dead. So I physically couldn't upload anything, so I'm gonna do it now. Anyways, this Devblog is for the TURM 3 and well, pre-order bonuses, so this is a premium tank. I will talk about it after I've read everything out. The TURM 3 is a German experimental tank developed during the mid-1960s on the basis of the Leopard main battle tank. Soon the unique TURM 3 will make its way to War Thunder top rank ground battles, arriving in the game as part of the next major update. Briefly, an experimental design based on the Leopard 1 chassis featuring a 3-plane stabilized turret, providing excellent accuracy. Its features are good mobility, fast-firing 105mm gun or cannon, and a secondary 30mm cannon. As you can see, you can pre-order it, so $50. Rank 5 premium tank. With it you get the title experimental, apparently a submachine gun, and you know. Anyways, about the history of this vehicle. During the 1960s, West Germany and the USA worked in the joint MBT-70 program, which ultimately wouldn't deliver the desired results. During its development, however, German engineers also worked on other projects in parallel in order to test alternative design layouts and unorthodox technical solutions. One of such projects included the development of a 3-plane stabilized turret, intended to greatly improve the fire accuracy of future vehicles of which it would end up being mounted. The project, dubbed Erprobungsträger mit Dreiachs stabilisiertem Turm, or in English experimental platform with a 3-axis stabilized turret, had the Rheinmetall company develop the novel turret, which was then fitted into a modified Leopard 1 chassis. In order to speed up construction time, the prototype was subsequently built in 1966 and extensively tested by the Bundeswehr. The test program concluded that the design was technically viable and also effective. At the same time, however, it was considered too complex and costly to produce, like that ever stopped us, and further drawbacks to the vehicle were noted, such as a cramped and inconvenient internal layout, limited armor protection, and a large vehicle profile. As a result of these findings, further development of the design was cancelled and the project officially terminated. The sole prototype of the design was subsequently sent to the Bundeswehr Technical Museum in Koblenz, which is a city in Germany, in case you're wondering, where it sits today on display to the present day. So you can just go and look at this thing in a museum. It's most likely going to have this color and some camouflage. Alright, let's go over this as well, and then I'm gonna say something to this. In War Thunder, the TURM 3 will be a new premium vehicle, awaiting tankers at rank 5 of the German ground forces tree in the next major update. I'd like you people to remember the rank 5 thing for the stuff I'm saying later. Based on the auto-familiar chassis of the Leopard 1 tank, this German Panzer features a unique stabilized turret and automatic loading system. Okay, hold on. So first of all, Panzer is unknown, so therefore it's written, with a capital letter. B, there's absolutely no fucking point to use it in English at all, because it's not an English word. A Panzer is just a tank. There's 0 point, and I don't understand it, why there's this obsession to use Panzer instead of tank. It at all, or if at all, only makes sense in the context of if you spot it in War Thunder. You're not going to sound smart, you're just going to pronounce it incorrectly, and you're going to inconvenience me with the errors you make in the conjunction with this word. But like, regardless of if you just write it out, because most people even fail at that, as you can see with fucking War Thunder here. And again, it's just some sort of glorification of the German war machine. There's really no point in calling it a Panzer over a tank when you call everything else a tank. I mean, you're not going to call a Japanese tank a Sencha or some shit like that. Just because. You know what, I'm ranting too much. Let's move on here. Giving the vehicle excellent firepower and accuracy to boot. The 3-plane stabilized turret of the TURM 3 will give aspiring commanders of this machine the ability to accurately fire on the move. Coupled with this tank's 105mm A7A2 cannon, familiar to most seasoned War Thunder player tankers. What? No, just tankers, sorry, no fucking idea where I got the players from. As well as an autoloading mechanism that makes the TURM 3 a very dangerous predator on the battlefield. Furthermore, the TURM 3 Features a coaxial 30mm cannon next to the main gun, great for taking down low-flying aircraft or destroying lightly armored targets. But I'm not sure why they decided to call it TURM 3. I mean, I guess it makes sense. They don't mention it here being the official name of the vehicle. But I can absolutely understand that they didn't want to write down Erprobungsträger mit dreiecksstabilisierten Turm. Like, I guess it makes sense as an abbreviation, but it would be interesting if it actually had a shortened nickname, or if this is actually the official nickname or whatever of this vehicle. Because I also can't imagine that every time the engineers sat down and talked about this, they were like, alright, der Erprobungsträger mit dreiecksstabilisierten Turm. I mean, that's half a fucking sentence. Actually, no, that just is a sentence, to be honest, but it would be interesting to know where I got the name from, that's all. However, because of the TURM 3's poor hull protection without any advanced armor packages, it remains relatively susceptible to enemy fire, with automatic cannons posing the second largest threat next to high-caliber MBT cannons. Furthermore, the vehicle's radar-sizable turret gives the TURM 3 a large profile, making it harder for a vehicle's commander to evade detection and subsequently enemy fire. Offsetting these considerable drawbacks somewhat is the vehicle's good mobility, however, fitted with a powerful 856 horsepower diesel engine. The TURM 3 can reach a top speed of 65 km on paved roads. As a result, the TURM 3 can combine its superb gun handling and fast reloads with good mobility, resulting in an excellent choice for tankers keen on wreaking havoc fuck that, to the enemy's flank. Lastly, the TURM 3 will also allow tankers to speed up their progression towards even more advanced German ground vehicles thanks to its premium status, and here it just says that you can buy it and it will come in the game. So what I want to say to this. First of all, I've been speculating about this BR coming at. The standard Leopard 1 is at 7.3. This thing will not have APDS-FS because it wasn't in service yet when this thing was made. So the best shade this thing is going to have is the Heat FS that also the normal Leopard 1 has. German players are absolutely retarded. This thing is rank 5. The 8.3 most 8.3 premium tanks, as example, like the T55 AM, are already rank 6, and they can't say rank 6 vehicles for more than rank 5. So it doesn't make sense giving it a BR of a rank 6 vehicle just to sell it for less money. So my thought is that it's either going to be 8.0, where you don't really have a lineup for this thing at all. You don't have aircraft, if I'm not mistaken. You could take the Me-26 tour spot. Why the fuck would you do that? I guess you have the 228, I think it is. Not sure, but there is a Russian aircraft you have that BR for the Germans. You can take an AA with you, and what else? I think that's actually it. So 8.0 just is a really poor BR in general, because why would you don't have anything to bring it with, right? Also, Gaijin has a very weird perception of mobility. Like, they're just not taking that into account when balancing vehicles at all, which is why mobile vehicles tend to be generally stronger than heavier armored vehicles, because armor is given a lot more, how do I say that, significance in the game in terms of balancing than speed, which is why light tanks or generally mobile medium tanks tend to be a lot better than heavy tanks at the same BR and are much easier to play. At least in the realistic mode. Give me a break for arcade, I have no fucking idea. But this also mostly applies to simulator. Actually, it applies to simulator even more because many mobile vehicles are also smaller. Well, this doesn't apply to this tank, but it's not uncommon. And so I was thinking that the most realistic BR, considering its capabilities, the fact that the German player base is mentally disabled, and its ranking, that it's most likely going to be 7.7, but I think it's too low balancing-wise for what this thing can. On the other hand, I think the Swedish, not fucking Swedish, holy shit, the French MX-30 Super, or how it's called, is also 8.0 with very similar capabilities. So I would assume that's going to be around 8.0 and 7.7. I doped 8.3 because then they could sell it as a rank 6 vehicle. I don't see why they would miss out on the extra money. But I could also be wrong. I think the best BR to put it balancing wise would be 8.3. But the most realistic, and because of its rank, the German player base and whatnot, I think the most realistic one is going to be 7.7, or the most likely one rather. I could of course be mistaken, but the fact that the Panzer IV-H also made it down all the way to 3.7 where it has zero business, or the Leopard 1 being 7.3 kinda shows that I'm right when it comes to the German player base. So I could see Gaijin putting stronger vehicles for the German tech tree already lower because they know they would have to lower it anyways. Also, Gaijin has a tendency, which makes sense, to prefer to place premium vehicles lower in BR than they should be, and then rather increase it in BR than put it at a too high BR and decrease it. There are some premium vehicles that have actually made that transition, like the Panzerwerfer. I think it started out at 3.7 and then it went down all the way to 2.7 by this point. The same for the Katyusha, etc. But most premium vehicles go the exact opposite way, that they rise in BR instead of going down, like the B1 Tear, etc. or the T126 and so on. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I personally will not be buying this for a multitude of reasons, mostly because I'm also unsure how they will actually rank it. This is just what I think it's going to be. Also, I don't really like playing modern stuff and whatnot, but this may potentially be a good vehicle, and I'm interested to hear what you think of this, because it does have a free plane stabilizer and it does have an autocannon. So a lot of things that can threaten you with their own autocannons are also threatened by your autocannon. So just because a BMP, as example, breaks your barrel, it doesn't mean you can't defend yourself. You're still going to be able to destroy that BMP. So high caliber secondary cannons are actually very good in War Thunder. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say on this. I think it looks kinda neat, but not great looking. So yeah, we will see how it's eventually balanced. I'm going to be honest, I will be shocked if it's at 8.3 or something like that. But that's also possible. As I said, I think the most likely is 7.7. What you think are welcome comments. Well, otherwise, thank you for listening and goodbye.